doing, guys? Neil here, back in the FM Dugout for episode 3 of I'll Take the Low Road with Peebles FC. So last time round we had a rather disappointing start to the East Scotland Premier Division with a 2-2 draw against Spartans B, where we just scored very late on to salvage a draw. So things since then have taken a turn for the better. As you'll see from the league table, we're sitting pretty at the top, 8 points clear, with only that one game where we've dropped points right at the start of the season and a goal difference of plus 30 in 12 games. So really things have gone very, very well for us during that time. Unfortunately, during that time, the request for the affiliate has come back fruitless, so we aren't going to get anything. I couldn't find any potential suitors, so that particular idea for revenue stream seems to have gone right out the window. Our balance is now sitting at 10,000 in the red. Our attendance has not picked up. As you can see, it's still hovering around at the 16 mark. We have been doing very well on the pitch, so I'm hoping there's some logic in this game that means if you do well that your attendances will start to go up. Certainly we've been playing some attacking football, and I'll show you how the results have been going recently. But there's been some transfer moves since the last video, so I'll just show you that now. We've had an extra 5 players sign, a few in transfer deadline day, and we've had some outgoings as well. I'll cover the outgoings first because probably no one really cares about it. There's a few free transfers here, just looking to clear up the squad a bit. Scott Horn was out for 8 months with a broken leg. He wasn't even a third choice right side in midfielder, so he's been kicked out. I mean, it's not to save money, it's just to, keep the squad more streamlined. It was looking a bit kind of bulky with some of the additional signings we made. Andy Roger, striker, Danny Wright, striker, Billy McLean, striker. They were all poor, and we've got replacements, so they've all been kicked out. Keith Smith, again, we've got another replacement, so he's been kicked out. The 3 who have left to clubs, this is an interesting thing, and it's a good hint, I think, to take away from managing an amateur team. Whilst it's great being able to sign folk that you're not actually paying any money for, you can amass a huge squad of players. When players become unhappy, if you can't get them back on side, then they will be off, and they will be off a day after. All 3 of these guys left the following day. They complained about not getting first team football and had the usual conversation that you do with them. These guys weren't going to get played. I told them I didn't see a future for them at the club, and I thought, they would probably want to go on the transfer list and it would take a while. They might still be here till the end of the season, but not. A day later, teams came in for them and they left. So it's a word of warning. The guys that you want to keep in your team, make sure you keep them happy. Otherwise, you're going to be in a position where you're going to lose a lot of your players very, very, very quickly. So, yeah, a word of caution. Certainly when the guys that have signed, if any of them start to complain, I think I'll be brown-nosing them and telling them that they'll get a game, and I'll be forced to play them. But I think the standard of the players that we've signed is still above the quality of the majority of the teams in this division, as you've seen with the league position. I think we're doing rather well. So anyway, on to the 5 players that we've signed. We'll start with Robbie Brown. So he's a goalkeeper who was previously at Hearts as a youngster, didn't play for them. Good skills, good aerial ability, handling, one-on-ones, reflexes. Maybe with the tendency to punch, it's a little high. Physicals are very good for a 17-year-old. He's brave, good teamwork. I think he's an excellent signing. He's been our first choice goalkeeper. Conceded 10 and 12, played 7.02. It's fairly run of the mill stuff. So quite pleased with that. Craig Burns now becomes our backup keeper, and I think he's still good, but his eccentricity at 15 maybe gave us reason to be concerned. You can see his average rating was 6.79. Conceded a goal in every game on average. So that's why Craig is going to drop down to the bench, and he is only 16 anyway, so he's got plenty of time. No, probably rotate the two and give him some game time so he doesn't get unhappy and leave like these guys here. The next up is Andy McLean, centre back, who can also play right back, but he will be playing centre back. He is one of the sort of guys that we just needed in to give us a bit more quality at centre back. I just felt that when we got injuries, we were relying too much on the players that were here at the start. And it's worth noting the players at the start were generated by the game. There actually were no players at Peebles. Much like most of the teams at this level, the database update just didn't have the players in it. So I had to select the option to generate players for clubs that you could play as. So anyway, Andy's signed. You can see here fits in with the usual mould that our team has: brave and determined, good heading, marking, tackling, average, probably above average for this kind of level, decent physical skills. He was formerly at Berwick, had a spell at Coldstream on loan, but he's a seasoned pro, I would say. Great addition to the squad, and he's slotted in quite nicely. Next up is Glodion Ntumba, who was formerly at Rangers as a youngster, never played for them, but we've brought him in here, the Congolese under-20 player. So, I think I signed him primarily because I've known him from having games where I've either played as Rangers or against Rangers, and he's got some good skills. Took a bit of a punt, just the fact that I knew him. I didn't know all his skills, but I thought he's got to be better than the guys that were generated at the start of the game. You can see from his performances so far, he's done really well. 6 goals and 6 starts and 2 sub appearances, and an average rating of 7.29. So pleased with the start that he's had, and hopefully you'll keep that up. Next up is Patrick Martin, so yet another striker. This guy has come from Arbroath, where he had a couple of games. Now, he looks like a real gem, for this kind of level. Lots of good skills, hitting around the kind of double figure mark. Good dribbling, good finishing, good composure. Teamwork work rate nice and high. Natural fitness is quite high. He's not the fittest of players in terms of his speed, his agility and so on, but I think all in all, heading 10, he's a great guy to have up as a lone striker as well. I think he'll do quite well, but we'll probably have to work on his strength and his stamina for that. He's had a great start. He's scored 7 goals in 4 starts and 3 sub appearances and 7.37, but he's currently injured and he's actually going to miss today's game, which is against the second team in the league, Craigroyston. And next up, and last but not least, Jamie Mills. So a versatile left back who can pretty much play anywhere in the left wing. As you'll see from his picture, he was formerly at Rangers as well. Didn't actually have a first team appearance, but that's how Rangers have been under Ali McCoy for the past few years. Youngsters don't get a chance, so he comes in, and he's got some excellent skills. He's quite quick, he's fit, he's got a good work rate, and his tackling is really quite good. He's had 5 games so far, and 7.42 is pretty good going. He's had 2 assists and also a man of the match, so he's had a really, really solid start. And I've just been rotating him with Kieran Bowl, who actually, if we look at our last 5 games, Kieran Bowl is the top performer in the team. He seems to have stepped up his performances since Jamie Mills came in. You can see here that 2 of our top 3 top performers of the last 5 games are actually missing for today's game, so I'm absolutely gutted about that. Just the fact that we're playing a team who are probably stronger than the rest of the division. We're also missing Callum Thompson, who was one of our first choice centre backs, so there's a bit of reshuffling needed today for the game. So as I say, it's against second in the league. We've got an 8-point gap. Played a game more, so if we can win today and increase our lead to 11 points with them having a game in hand, that'd be a great start. So there's going to be 30 games in total. We're approaching that halfway mark, and things are looking really quite good for us. So if we look at the schedule and see what's happened since last time, Yeah, look at the green. We've been really good. We've had a fantastic run and some fantastic wins over that time. Just quickly go through these. You can pause the screen if you want. This game we should have won really comfortably, but it was 2 late goals that got us the win. I actually tried playing Max Wilson to see if I could keep him happy, and then he left a day later. Eyemouth United, who we beat 5-2 in the first episode. We had a 3-0 win here. Again, nice and comfortable, 60% possession. Goals for two of our central midfielders and one for Phil Story. And this was obviously before Natumba and Martin came in. Then we had Lothian Thistle, our resident millionaires in this division. And we came up against them and won 3-0. And again, 60% possession. Hammered them, didn't even have a shot on target. Goals coming from midfield and defence. So, you know, this was Patrick Martin's first game, and you could see that he didn't actually score. Then had the great result against Civil Service, 9-1, 2 hat-tricks, one for Anthony McGuigan out and left, and one for Glory Natumba on his debut, where he scored 3 goals, 2 of them coming late on, but, you know, great performance all round, 61% possession. That's 66% shot and target ratio was really fantastic, and you look down at the ratings, it really was an excellent game. Then had 2-1 against Kelso. Lots of bookings. It was a pretty dirty game, this. A late goal for us. We should have done better. Just didn't have that many shots on target that game. You can see Patrick Martin had a poor game. Mike Jack did. We just generally weren't hitting form in that game. Then bounced back with a 5-1 win in the Alex Jack Cup first round against Duns. Hat-trick for Patrick Martin off the bench. Scored a hat-trick off the bench in 13 minutes. That was really impressive for him to do that. Again, another game fairly comfortable in terms of the stats. Outplayed them from the start. We then had Tynecastle, where Patrick Martin scored 4 goals. So he scored 3 goals, then 4 goals. So he's actually only scored in 2 games for us. So maybe his stats are kind of outweighed a little bit. This game wasn't as comfortable as it looks. Yeah, we scored 2 early goals. We were actually 3-0 up. But they did push us. We just managed to be a bit more clinical than they were. And you can see from the ratings, it was a good performance in central mid from Drew Wingate and Luigi Huaro. You know, it was quite a resolute performance from us. Ormiston, who were 3rd in the league at the time, pretty comfortable win in the end in terms of the score, but a hairy moment towards the end. We were 3-2 up. We were 3-0 up after 21 minutes, but we really just let them back in the second half, and last minute deflected free kick from Kieran Bowl spared our blushes with a 4-2 win. Burntisland, rather unremarkable game here. You can actually see from the possession we didn't hold a lot of it, but I think they packed the midfield in that game. Leith 4-0. 4 separate goal scorers, 3 midfielders and Natumba. Didn't let them have a shot on target. Again, over 50% shot on target ratio, 56% possession, so it's all going pretty smoothly. Then Hoy Carre. Now this game, you look at where this goal came from, Robbie McManus, very much like Michael Moss's last minute winner from a corner. It was a header, and we should have won this game comfortably. But if you look at how the score goes, we were losing 1-0, then 2-0, then 2-1, then 2-all. Then we went 3-2 down, and you know, it was just a late rally from us. But looking at the stats, we should have absolutely walked this game. But we didn't play very well on the whole. Jose Katongo kind of saved us. Then we had Leith again, and this game pretty unremarkable, to be honest. Didn't play very well on the whole, and it was only a penalty that won the game. Then we had Stirling Uni B, and this is where Natumba's actually back today. It wasn't as bad an injury as it seemed, but Katongo was missing. Phil Story had to come on, actually got a goal, and McGuigan again from the left wing. He's been an exceptional player from the left wing. 7 goals in 15 games is fantastic. Great return for him. So that brings us nicely on to today's game against Craigroyston. So Just having a quick look at the team. Michael Mossie's not played great recently, so we'll put Drew Wingate back in. Martin Anderson has to play. We've got no option. We've got Sandy Lawless injured, 77%. It's not worth the risk. And Katongo, our first choice, can't play either. And I think we'll put Natumba in and start for Phil Story. And we'll probably go with this. Andy McLean's not fit enough to play from the start. So unfortunately, Jordan Cormack comes into the fold. So pundits are going with us, obviously, as you'd expect with our form the way it's been. See how our team talk goes down today. Start with passionate, keeping the run going, and then telling people I have faith in them assertively. Nah, not so bad. So one of the things I've done recently is generally played an attacking mentality at home. And away from home we play controlled to begin with and move to attacking later on in the game, and it's worked out quite well for us in terms of the goals we've scored. It's definitely helped. Here's a chance here, Blake playing it in. Natumba, from the tight angle, what a finish, what a finish. Yeah, really pleased with the way the team's shaping up. Obviously a little bit concerned about the whole amateur status and people leaving, so I think it's really important to get up into the Scottish Lowland League. At the first time of asking, if we turn semi-pro, can we offer these players contracts? It remains to be seen. I think obviously with the way the finances are and the fact we only get 16 people at our home games a time, it's not going to keep us afloat. So it's a little bit worrying. We'll see how it goes. No, and this could be a break. Wingate breaks it up. Long ball again. Cormac out wide to Anderson. What can Anderson do? Not a lot. In general, the team have been playing the short passing that I want them to play, but they have to resort to long ball at times. And Natumba again. Great time for the goal to be scored. Just settles us down that little bit more before half time. I think, as you can see from the stats, we've been controlling it here. 70% odd pass complete, 82% in the tackles is pretty high, but they've got 85. One clear cut chance, but we've got 2 goals, so got to be pleased with the way this game's going. We might get caught out here. Seem to have the numbers back, but if they drag it out wide, we might be in trouble if they get it in the box. Off the bar. Rode our luck a bit there. Generally speaking, we've been pretty weak at crossfield balls and corners. Defensively, just not managed to clear our lines. I'm still using the match training as the tactics until we get more familiar with it, and then hopefully I can move on to defending and attacking as and when we've got particular games. Got to be pleased with that half. Send them back out. Doesn't look like anyone really needs to be subbed at the moment. No one performing awfully or injured. 3 yellow cards, we might have to look at changing that. Natumba with a chance for a hat-trick. Now, if you guys want to see anything in particular in the highlights, if you want to have replays or you want the 2D view, just leave a comment and let me know. If the videos are too long, let me know as well. I know they've been quite lengthy recently, but there's been a lot to cover, a lot of games this time round. Mills with a chance, cuts it back. Natumba for the hat-trick nearly. A double save from the keeper. That would have been a great chance there for this hat-trick if he just put it wide. And now right. I'm going to say I'm keeping him on, but Natumba can actually play out wide, so I think I'm going to put him there and bring on Phil Story up front. Story's, I still think he can do a job at this level. It's unfortunate for him that we signed 2 really good strikers this season and kind of ahead of him now in the pecking order. But yeah, it's really handy to have someone like Natumba who can play out wide as well. Here we go with Jack to Poirot. He's lost out. And this is the break. I don't know why Cormac didn't jump for that. Will Robbie Brown save? He doesn't need to. That was a woeful finish. I mean, this is the kind of level that we're playing at, and I think, you know, the standard of players we've got, we really should be walking this league. Even with our 5,000 to 1 odds at the start of the year, we could have solved all our financial problems if we just put on £100 bet on that. Yeah, that would have been quite handy for us. Nice £500,000. Let's see if we can get a third goal to kill this game off, because if we concede now, it could be quite a nervy finish. Great save from Robbie Brown. That's why we got him. Okay, just looking at some of the fitness levels, the defenders look a little bit tired. I'll probably bring on Michael Mossy, I think, for Jamie Mills, and probably bring on Andy McLean as well for Robbie McManus, just so that we don't get a red card in the last 15 minutes. See, we've only had one red card, and given the tactics I play, I tell my players to go in hard in the tackle. It's quite low, you know. I would have expected a few more reds, but you know, we've been lucky. And there we go again from the corner, poor marking. So we've given ourselves a more difficult task now in the last few minutes. They've got a player injured and they've not been able to substitute him, so I'm going to go back to control. I don't see the point in trying to push for a third goal, especially when they've got a man down. I think we should ride this out. Bit of a disappointing performance on the whole. Again, scoring 2 goals early on and not managing to capitalise on it, but the 3 points count, and it's against the second place team, so that for me is fantastic. Yeah, fairly even game actually overall. We just took our chances a little better than they did, so now that's 11 points clear, albeit with an extra game played. So given the way that the season's going at the moment, probably come back after about 20 odd games have been played. Probably only have another couple of videos for this season. Hopefully we'll get ourselves into a position where we can win it, and I'll have some videos of the playoff against the winners of the South Scotland. I can't remember what competition it was now. Yeah, I'm not sure who it is actually, but yeah, we'll see how it goes from this point onwards. And if you like the video, make sure you leave a like, leave any comments below, and let me know if there's anything you want to see or anything you want me to cut down on. And hopefully see you for the next video. See ya!